Kiana, open us up with a song. uh, what it do? All right.
All right, awesome. Well, welcome to the Answer Podcast. We are so excited to have you all join us on today. And Bae, how you feeling?
I'm doing good.
You doing good?
You're looking good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You like my fit?
Yeah, you look good. That's a new hat.
It is.
Yeah. Your birthday?
My birthday. And I'd appreciate if you not be in this one.
Okay, but you can
take all my hats.
You wear all my hats.
No, he literally. I bought a hat. I bought a Miri hat, right? Because he had the one with the red stars. Mm-hmm. Y'all know, right? Mm-hmm. So I go buy one with the white stars because I wanted a black and white hat, right? Hence, black and white.
Okay.
Have y'all seen me in the hat?
It's amazing.
Not yet. Have y'all seen him in the hat?
One flex.
Two should be.
I thought like what's yours
okay, it is. Okay. It is. But I just every time I get ready to wear the hat, I can't find the hat.
We're not talking about this. Is not the hat conference podcast. This is relationship.
Yes, but we're talking about sharing our things within our relationships.
Yeah, that's good.
That is good. Mm-hmm. So yes, what's yours is mine. What's mine is yours.
Yeah.
So that's big. That is big. That's huge.
That's a whole subject because it's so many. Well, this is my account.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, all the time.
This is your account. Mm-hmm. You pay the mortgage, and and then you want to
pay the water bill.
Yeah, though you gonna give you the water bill. Give me the mortgage. Come on, But that's a whole little session.
Yeah, that's something different.
About the two shall become one flesh. I think you ought to have one account.
Mm-hmm. I think.
Yeah.
So anyway, but welcome. Yeah. We're glad to have you all here with us on today. This is the Answer Podcast where we are providing answers to relationship questions, biblical answers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So glad to have the Popes with us.
Glad to be here.
Yes, Jeff and Dana.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, we're excited. Definitely thank you guys for having us. Got an opportunity to see the season one, and now season 2, and just, excited about the opportunity of what we can share that maybe can help somebody else, help someone else. So thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, okay. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How long y'all been married, kids, what you doing, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, I will start. So we have been married for 11 years. We met in college. He met me before I met him, so you know how that goes. But yes, we have been married, like I said, 11 years. We moved to Texas from Florida about 10 years ago. Time moves fast. We have 2 children. We have Preston, who is 6 and a ball of energy. He loves you guys, of course, in church. And then we have Journey, who is 1.
Wow, Journey.
I work in education. I've been in education for 16 years. I'm also an entrepreneur. We own a venue where we do different events.
Venue.
We plan, we coordinate, we decorate.
So event planner?
Yes.
Okay, and you have your own spot?
Yes, I do.
Come on, look at that. Where is it?
It's in Rosharon, so not too far from Pearland, 288 Highway 6 area.
Okay.
What's the name of it?
Impress Event Center.
Impress Event.
All right. Make sure that's a little marketing commercial, so she'll send us something.
But yeah, we actually, some people are like, oh, is it Impress or Impress? And I'm like, no, it's Impress because Preston is the reason why we started it. So we wanted to have something to pass on to him. So we did it in Preston's name. So Impress Design and Events. But now we got Journey, so we had to add her in there too.
No, that's powerful. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what's going on with your relationship? How y'all doing?
What's today? We doing good today?
Yeah, we doing today.
So 11 years. Y'all moved here a year after y'all got married.
Yes.
Yep.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And we were already, like she said, we met in college, and so we were staying in our college town. She had became a teacher. She was working at the school that she interned at. I was working in retail, oil and gas, and so we just enjoyed it. So we kind of was already away from family. So it was just a little bit of a bigger hike, obviously, from central Florida down to Houston, Texas. So we kind of already was operating kind of, on our own. So it wasn't that big of an adjustment, to Houston. But
Gotcha.
So it's the answer What questions y'all have when it comes to marriage, relationships, children, business, just whatever?
I mean, I don't think there's an exact handbook per se. I mean, the Bible can be a good guide, and it is a good guide. But I mean, I think just life throws so many different turns and twists at you. So I think what I've been becoming more aware of is just how, your childhood really impacts, who you are and how you process and how you see things. I think what Pastor, you always say, it's not really marriage problems, right? It's individual. Single problems smuggled into the marriage.
Yeah.
Right. So that's just becoming more real just as you kind of do this thing called life together. So you're just learning and uncovering new things. So when you throw into that having kids or life changes, I know for us when, I originally moved here, I was working in sports. So got an opportunity to launch my sports career after graduating with my master's in sports management. So I had the great opportunity to kind of start at Rice and the University of Houston, and the goal was to get to the NFL. So I had the opportunity to do that. And so, man, was on path, on track, excited about the opportunities, and, got a chance to do that for about 4 years, and then change happens. And so just kind of dealing with that change, I think really impacted, our relationship, at that time, that was a huge pill to swallow. So I think with that transition and maybe looking for, a support in certain kind of ways, and maybe not even knowing how to vocalize that support, I think kind of put us in a tight spot for, I think a couple of years, and not too long ago having a son. So our son was like 1.5. So you throw that on that and then run right into COVID. So I think it was a couple of things that kind of,
So it really would be just getting, guidance on navigating through that. Because when he was let go, I thought I was being supported by saying, oh, something bigger and better is coming. Like, we're beyond that. They're laws. But he was actually like looking for more, but couldn't vocalize it. So we had like some resentment built up in there. And I feel like it pops up every now and then. So I feel like navigating that would be what we could use some guidance on. Just knowing as a wife, like what my role would be to support him during that time. I feel like it was undiagnosed depression that he went through. You could speak on that too if you want. And just as a man, like moving through that challenge.
I think you mentioned something, Jeff, when you were just speaking about just your childhood, right? And how things that happen in our childhood does affect us in our adulthood, right? And so y'all got married young, you could say right out of college. And so navigating through the whole transition, moving to a new city, right? New career, on the path you desire to be on, and then you have the job transition, and now it's affecting your relationship. And you're anticipating a response from her, and she's anticipating a response from you, but y'all are not in agreement with how the responses are coming across, and it affected the marriage.
Yes.
To the degree, to the point of where wanting out or just like not liking each other.
I feel like at times I was kind of like, okay, well, maybe this is not supposed to be. Maybe this is not it. So maybe we do need to, go our separate ways.
So what was I'm trying to find, what was the issue? He lost the job.
Yeah, it's the transition with work.
With the work. Did you do anything?
Oh,
no. Were you not going to work?
Oh, no.
You're late?
No, so just in sports, when there's a transition of leadership, so a new head coach come in, they bring in a new staff. So a new GM came in. I was working under Rick Smith at the time, awesome GM. Obviously he had his wife fell ill, so he took a leave of absence. They brought in a new GM. And so that GM, I was there with him for a year, but they bring their own staff in. So,
so you wasn't come to work late?
No, never been rolled up, never had no disciplinary issues.
You was doing your job, you're doing it well, and lost the job. What was the response?
I was, okay, that's not for us.
Okay.
Like, there's something bigger and better.
Something bigger and better.
That's a good response. So I'm with you.
That was support.
That's support.
That is. However, let's get to the however.
Yeah.
Okay, so the emotional affection aspect I probably was missing because it wasn't okay, you need to let this go. This is a hurt. This is what you thought you were going to be doing forever, and it just got taken away from you. So you got to kind of mourn that. I didn't want to sit in that. I'm like, let's go. I was raised by an independent woman, so like, what's the next move? How we providing? We got a kid, we got a mortgage, so that was me.
Gotcha.
That's good.
Yeah.
And in my head, I was like, oh, this is like encouraging him because we don't need them. But we found out.
Because he bleeding.
Yeah.
Yes.
He bleeding and leading. He bleeding while trying to lead you and lead the family.
Yes.
And so just innate in a man, I need to provide. So not as a shot. I've been shot, that kind of thing. And I think you said something so powerful for those who are listening. Like in the Bible, he talks about mourning, right? It said, blessed are they who mourn, for they shall be comforted. And I studied that, and it was interesting is that people mourn, some folk 2 days, some folk 2 years. And I think it's very important to understand that, like, you can't rush past a person's hurt. I think that's a big piece. I think the support is, I'm hurting. Okay, what do we need to do to treat that? And let people heal how they heal. Now, I think if they just kind of sitting in a depression, that's one thing. But I think that's an opportunity to let people mourn and don't rush past. I'm hurting.
Yeah, definitely, I get that. But to Dana's point, you are trying to be supportive during the morning, but these bills are still coming.
Yep.
So we gotta mourn, and we also have to move. Like, we gotta do something. We gotta come up with a plan, because if we just do nothing, then what's gonna become of the family?
But was that the response? Were you just doing nothing?
No. So it wasn't nothing, right? So if you go through something like that, my thought was like, man, I don't need to be in a position to allow somebody else to take food off our table. So now I'm looking at entrepreneurship opportunities. But guess what? That takes time to build.
Yep.
That's right.
So that, and I'm going after, that launched me into even the area of my podcast. It's talking about some of the things that I experienced, but the experience and just how we can be of a resource for individuals that don't know about just the industry and sports and stuff. So kind of was launched on that path of like pursuing these things, but it's going to take some time to kind of build. But it wasn't a lot of time, right? It was like, is this going to work, or is this going to be profitable? How are you going to, so it was a lot of maybe not as supportive in that of like believing that eventually these type of things will pay off. So that's where some of the more of the challenges came. Like, listen, I want to be in position to be able to take care of our family and not be dependent on somebody else, but this is going to take some time. And so, not really being on the same page with that, and being in agreement with that is like, hey, go find the next, job type thing.
Articulate that, because what I'm hearing, and I just want to make sure I'm clear, was that a response or were you reacting? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What I mean by that is, I think sometimes things happen, we react, versus, let's sit, let's think, let's respond. You know what I'm saying? And I think, what was happening when I'm gonna do the entrepreneurship, I'm gonna do the podcast after that?
I think that spiraled into, that whole losing the job situation spiraled into lots of other doors opening, because he decided, like, I'm going to figure this out without it being we are going to figure this out. So I felt like I didn't know what was going on. So I'm like, hey, what are we doing? Where are we going? You're supposed to be leading. Where are you leading us to? And like I said, growing up, my mom was a single mom. My dad and mom got divorced when I was in elementary school. So I'm used to being in the house with her, seeing her do it and get it. And there's no, okay, we got to sit and cry about this. No, we got to figure out another plan. So I'm just like, what's the plan? What are we doing? So if you don't figure it out, I'm going to start trying to figure it out. Because, so it's like two people doing two different things. And I think that's where we got in that issue of like the respect thing. Because I was like, well, you're supposed to be the provider. And like, what you doing? And he felt like he wasn't being respected because I looked at him like he wasn't providing anything. So that was a whole other ordeal. So just I know you preach about respect, like the men, they want respect.
No, I'm a male man.
Right, the Bible talks about.
I'm just literally a male, like
It's
the Lord
definitely
wrote
been a
me.
messenger.
I'm just a male
So
man.
yeah, I think that was
So the Bible
a hang
says
up for me,
respect.
yes, because the Bible says respect for men and love for women, and I kind of was like, well, I feel like I need respect too. Like, what are we doing? Like, I'm
Yeah.
not being respected.
Mutual
So I would want to
respect.
know what that looks like, because I know all people need respect, but it seems like because the Bible says the men respect, women love. So what does that look like as like a balance?
Well, I think even with that, clarify, like, are you being disrespected? When you talk about respect, so if you want to clarify that, like, were you being disrespected?
And see, to me, I was thinking like stuff like if I clean the house and I organize the pantry and then I fold the clothes and put everything away, and I come and I see the Tupperware is all over the place, the pantry is a mess, the towels are pulled all apart, just couldn't get. I feel like I use time to clean our home, and I feel like you disrespected what I spent the time to do.
Yeah.
So I do feel in that sense that yes, there was a lack.
So you gotta put the stuff back, man. You gotta put that
Tupperware.
That Tupperware back.
Yeah.
Cause you like the label to be facing.
I need it organized.
It
Let's
should
talk about this.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this because no, it reminded me because I do the laundry in our home, right? And so I fold the clothes, I place them in the drawers, right? And I typically wash every week, right? So when I come back the next week,
Every other.
Yeah.
Think every other.
come back the next week to put the clothes in the drawers, total disarray. That's what you're talking about? That respect?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to speak to that, Pastor?
Um,
Because your drawers be in disarray when I go back to put those clothes up.
I think it's like this. Hold your cup. I'm sure. I think it's, expectation.
Yes.
Hold your cup up.
I'm holding it.
Reality. Right? And I think this what I'm expecting. This the reality though. I got it? Now watch this. In between is conflict. When there is an expectation, but this is the reality, we can put it back. The further, the greater conflict. The closer, the less conflict. So I think it's a couple of things. If the expectation haven't been clarified, that you want my clothes to stay straight, because we've never had
You never heard
a
that.
closed meeting.
Selective memory. But okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like I
Okay.
didn't know that was a doctrine, in the house that you wanted the clothes to stay straight.
Okay.
So if we don't clarify the expectation, but we're expecting this reality, I believe there's some culpability.
Okay. I
You feel what I'm
receive
saying?
that.
So I think, have we communicated, well, this is what I want. This is why I want that. And then if the person is not doing that, I think, well, what's going on? We didn't talk about it. I think that can be disrespectful. So
Yeah, that's good. So, we talk about in our book, we talk about the mutual respect.
Yeah.
So Dana should be given respect just like you should be given respect, Jeff. But then also, I guess my question is, do you all know each other's love languages?
Yeah.
Yes.
Y'all do. Okay, what are yours? Jeff?
Now, affection, touch, right? Words of affirmation. Hers more so acts of service. Now, here's the challenges, right? Acts of service, right? So, hey, let me wash these dishes, right? Let me put these dishes away. Let me, make sure the kids shower, get dressed, put down, or things that I'm looking at as help.
okay.
It's kind of then spent as, no, it's an expectation. Like, you are a dad, you should be doing this. Or
Yeah.
you a part of, you should be, so it's like, win or lose, like, I'm putting forth the effort to make sure I'm helping in these areas, but no, it's not just her responsibility, or she feel like it's not just her responsibility, although you are help, but it's also your responsibility. So now the acts of service is.
Also, with my acts of service, before the babies, it wasn't acts of service. After the babies,
Definitely.
things shifted. So it's definitely like, help me, please.
Help me.
I like a full, I guess I got to do the whole expectation. I like a full on plan, like go through the whole course. So if you're going to wash the dishes, don't leave the silverware in there and don't leave the stove dirty. So
I heard that
I need a full, you got to follow through all the way through.
Yeah.
Like you got to do the whole thing. But I do understand I am quick, I'm going to be honest, to see the negative before I see the positive. So
Why
it's
is
like,
that?
I have no clue. That would be a good, I don't know. I feel like it's easier to be like, oh, you didn't do this though, but you didn't do this. Like, it just comes off for me. It's really not one of my best qualities, but it is easier for me to spot what's wrong than for me to see what's right and then affirm him in the, oh, well, you did stay up. I know you were tired and you did wash dishes.
Yeah, we need like a bell right here.
We do. A bell would be good.
You know, I'm just saying because, like, I don't know if we need to cut the cameras off because I want to move easy. In this space, when you said that, it kind of said something to me as I look back over my life. Like, you ever heard of the law of the lenses?
No.
You never heard of that? Y'all heard of that? You heard of that?
I've heard you mention it.
So the law of the lenses basically says, whoever you are is how you see life. Right? And so then there's a thing called the law of the mirror. And the law of the mirror would suggest what?
Looking at
Look at yourself.
Yeah.
That before I look out, let me look at the mirror. So I think, you know, if I look at things negative or if I look at things doubtful, right, it's probably because it's some inward work that need to take place. Because it's not what happens to you. It's how you see it. And how you see things is connected to what? A filter. And all of us have a historical filter, which is our heart, our mind. You hear me say a lot of times that people are hysterical because they historical. And sometimes, because I heard you say, it's what happened in the past. My past is present in my future. And I think sometimes to go forward, go back. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I had to learn early on, because I'll be like that, you know, just point this out, point this out, point this out. And look. And it wasn't that. It was, it's some work here, you know, and it's going to help you to see love always trusts, which means this. I give the benefit of the doubt. I don't say, well, you said you was going to be home at this particular time. You must have been talking to X. Maybe it was a flat tire. Because love always trusts and give people the benefit of the doubt. So I think just from the law of the lens, a lot of times, whoever we are, that's how we're going to see it. And I think if we can do the inward work, it's going to help us with a different perspective. And I had a lot of lens issues, right?
Yeah, dirty lenses.
We did.
Yeah, I had some too.
You won 2020. You know what I'm saying? I think do that work. And that work is creating that sacred rhythm to come before the Lord to say, show me me. And that's what he began to do. He began to you need to work on this and you need to focus on this. And what I began to do is address me, which did not eliminate marital problems, but it limited them. Because all the baggage I was bringing, it wasn't as much.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. And hopefully for y'all that was helpful, because I think, you know, Jeff, if you're initiating, you know, to show and try to help, then Dana, you in turn should initiate knowing that words of affirmation is how he receives the love that you show him would be helpful, as well. And that can help minimize. But I don't know if we answered the question as far as the navigating through the work transition. When y'all were sharing that story, it made me think about a lot of relationships where you have men, especially, just Black men in general, who may not, be able to find proper employment due to whatever history they may have. Sometimes there are brushes with law, whatever, it's hard to get work. And you can have like strong Black men who desire to be law-abiding citizens now and get employment and simply cannot find it. And you can have sisters who may, to your point, just be frustrated. I've heard several stories. This is not y'all's story, but several stories of women who foot in the bill, trying to take care of it and make it happen. And to some degree, I'm like, the brother should be doing all he can to seek employment and take care of his family.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, I think the sister or the woman and how she shows support through that season of drought is really important for the health of the relationship, because it can break you. Finances is one of the top reasons a lot of marriages don't make it. So if you get to that place where you're not employed at the time and the brother trying to figure it out, we as women can show the best support. I think when our relationship with God is stronger and closer. And we know how we can continue to show them love, as they're trying to navigate and figure it out. And if we understand how to love them through that, I believe as we work together, then now we can come up with this plan of how we're going to get through it. Because listening to y'all talk, the fact that Dana's like, let's go, let's get it.
Let's get it, yeah.
Like, she got some hustle in her. Like, the relationship together, it's like there's no reason why y'all shouldn't succeed. You know what I'm saying? Because you got the perfect help you need in her. And then your husband also has the perfect sensitivity and genuineness, to love and take care of his family and trying to figure it out. Where some brothers be like, you know what? I'm just gonna bounce, take care of myself and leave my family. That's like, good. We don't want to do that.
But I think I heard Dana say this, Jeff, and I think this is an opportunity for men. We don't see it as much today because, they got the Waze and the app on the phone.
Oh, yeah, the navigation.
But I seen a guy on the side of the road back in the day when he had the big map, looking at the map. And it was just a moment right there. He pulled over, looking at the map. And here's the principle that I gathered from that. That direction is more important than movement. Yeah. And I hear what she's saying, like, I'm in the car with you.
Yeah.
You lost your job. Where are we headed? You know what I'm saying? Because of the security. I don't know if that's what you didn't you say that?
Yeah, security was a big thing for me. Definitely.
Yeah. And like, where are we going?
Right.
Yeah.
As the leader.
Yeah. Didn't you mention that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did that make you feel?
It made me scared because I was like, when we got out of college, I had the career. I jumped right into my career right away. That was a struggle for, like you said, a lot of Black guys. 2 degrees, smart, hustler, does what he has to do, gets the job done. But he was still trying to figure his way out. So I'm like, okay, well, this is way more money than we had before because I have a career. Like, let's go. So I was, all right, whatever we got to do, let's move to Houston. Okay, whatever, how are we going to support you? And then we got into this situation, and I was like, oh, wait now. We have a mortgage. I was like, we have kids. How are we going to, we have a kid. I was like, how are we going to keep going? Like, I need the security of your check coming into this account as well. So it made me nervous. And then it made me resentful when it was like, well, I'm gonna do what I want to do. I want to be an entrepreneur. Because I'm like, well, I have a passion. I want to be an entrepreneur too, but I'm in education, which has gone a whole different direction from where I want to be now. So I was resentful, like, oh, you get to do a podcast, or you get to do this, and you get to do that, and I'm still in this same place that I don't want to be in. but I have to secure our family with this steady income. So that's why it started being a battle of, well, I'm providing most of the money now, so so that was a big respect factor, and we even called y'all a couple times. Probably.
Jeff hit me a couple of times. I think Jeff. I think what I hear your wife saying is just for every man, and I know I even been there. Like figuring it out is clarity. Not knowing what to do is clarity. And that's a strength. You with me? You know, not just, we finna bungee jump or whatever, or a hunch. You know, being able to say, I'm certain and uncertain. I am certain that I know who to go to, but I am uncertain of where I'm going. And I think to get in a car with someone, we can't just be moving. I think, hey, I don't know the next move. I don't know what I need to do. But I do know who know. And I'm going to take us, right? We are in a fog and I'm not clear, and I'm taking us, you know, in hindsight, right? Which is insight. Get your wife if this ever happened. And we're going to put our nose in the carpet. Because there is nothing we can't do together.
Right.
Right? And so the enemy comes in and we fight, you know, that kind of thing. And so that's what I would encourage, that it's okay not to know which way. But you know the one who knows.
Yeah.
And that is going to begin to settle her. Because the Lord know what? You got mortgage in what?
Kid.
30 days. He know that, right? He know that you've been going to work. You're doing your work. As you said, you're doing your work. You're going to work. He know that, so he gonna fight the battle, and so that becomes an opportunity to lead in that storm, which is going to do some things. It's gonna build your credit with the wife. How do we handle pressure? You know, and so of course y'all got through that, but that's what I would advise men to say, hey, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay. I don't know, but I'm gonna talk Jesus, and I'm gonna call pastor, and we're gonna get together, and I know you pulling the load right now, but that's what you do. You know what I'm saying? At moments when I need, you know, I'm on the cross, you know, and I need some support. And I just think in hindsight, moving forward, you do that, and the Lord know you're on the clock, you got stuff.
So the question becomes, how does the woman do that? How does she support the load, right? And still build up her husband? Because you know how we can do with our words, things we say. Because you need to continue to build him up, even through those moments of transition, sometimes low moments. How can I put on the cape, get it done, and still build him up in the process? Because as Dana mentioned, you know, I got some resentment. There's some things I want to do, you know? And so you have to get to the place where and it always goes back to your faith and your relationship with God. Because I want to do these things, but God knows you want to do those things. God knows you have desires of your heart as well. But this is the season we're in right now. So can I embrace this season, trusting God that this is where we are, but this is not where we're going to be. And in that moment, just trying to continue to build our men up. I don't think we do it enough. You know, as strong Black women, I grew up with a strong Black woman, so I know what that's like. But I think the building is so important. And I think when we take the time to put self aside, because that's really what it's going to take, just really sacrificing and putting self aside to build and offer those words of encouragement. Because there's one thing I love about a strong Black man. I'm talking about a Black man who loves the Lord first, you know, and who loves his family and who will work. The one thing about those brothers, eventually they gonna figure it out, and they gonna get up and they gonna move. And you'll look 5-10 years down the road and you be like, that brother done made it, because the strength is there, with that relationship with God. So I think y'all have something great. You about to take us to a scripture?
No, I was just looking at that verse. It's in Proverbs 31 woman. It says, a wife of noble character who can find, she is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. Then it says this, she brings him good.
And not harm.
Not harm all the days of her life.
Yeah.
And I think I think that's the work before marriage. And I think we're getting into marriage and we reverse engineering. Yeah. That's really all it is. It's like, I like her, I love her. You want to do stuff legit, where you're not sinning, because you probably, she was messing with you and stuff.
Oh, it was her?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
wow.
So,
Definitely not.
he's a cop. I already know what he was doing. Right?
It was him moving them shoulders.
Right.
The shoulders.
He's a cop.
That's funny.
But I think that's a lot of the issues. I think we get married and we just got reverse engineering.
Trying to unlearn.
Just unlearn stuff and all that kind of stuff. And if you can endure it, you're going to enjoy it. That's really all it is. It's like, man, if you can just get through the next couple of years, you enjoy it and look like y'all getting through a lot of things. So
yeah. No, I'm proud of y'all. Y'all have gotten through it.
Yeah.
So apart from that, is what else?
Yeah. I think you mentioned love and respect.
Yeah.
And you want to be respected. And I think the scripture tells you to love her like Christ loved the church, because where there is love, there is respect. So the issue ain't respect. Issue is, let me continue to grow in love, right? And vice versa, when it comes to respect, well, that's how he feel love. And so when the Bible talks about it, well, I want to be respected too. Well, when there's love and really understanding that, so love is not rude, according to 1 Corinthians 13. So love is not going to be rude, and love is going to be respectful. And so I just think we have to mature in that.
Definitely.
Well, I think even to the point, great points. I mean, great insight and jewels. But I think that supporting men that, love God, love their family, and want the best, but, having to navigate that, whether it be expectation. I think there's a lot of different things that kind of comes in today's with marriages and wives and what they see or what, as deemed as a successful marriage and trips and all those type of things, right? And so I think there's a lot of guys, and I know there's guys, even just talking to friends, married guys, as they are navigating these journeys, or trying to figure out next steps, that it becomes static in the relationship with that, right? With how the women, may have that resentment. And like Dana was saying, you're not a provider because you're not bringing in money. So does that now take you away as a provider, as far as just the respect standpoint, right? Because I don't look at it as my wife, as a mother, a nurturer. If you have to go away and do something, you can't take care of your kids, you're no longer a mother. So just like looking at that and navigating that, where that respects remain regardless of your financial situations. You still provide provision for the family, for the kids, and that whole, playing a roadmap. I think one of the things that I later discovered was saying that I didn't know, I was trying to figure it out. I couldn't say that at the time.
Okay.
But later on I was like, I just didn't know.
Didn't know, yeah.
So being in the place of doing, I think a lot of us or guys are like, man, I just got to try to figure out, because I know, the expectations or the pressure or the resentment, the energy, and how it impacts everything. So I'm trying to figure it out so I can alleviate that.
Yeah.
So you jump into things and you find yourself trying, maybe doing some stuff that you wasn't called to be doing. So I think to that point where guys that are in that space, maybe this would be helpful for them in that term, to be able to, trust God and to lean into that.
Yeah. It may just kind of confuse emergency with urgency. I mean, you got a job. That's your money, right? So I didn't hit hard times. I got you, boo. I don't know, was it boo, bae, or just I got you. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't hit a little something, right? Wherever the Spirit of the Lord is, I'm coming at it. I may hit the ditch, but like you say, I'm coming out of that. So I think just understanding that success is about timing. You with me? Like, it's a reason why Kamala have the energy she have right now. 4 years ago, she probably don't have that level of energy. But notice it's some stuff at work, which is providence. A lot of times you can't see the providence of God looking ahead, you gotta look back. It's something at work. And you see what I'm saying? So you gotta know that. Is this emergency or is this urgency? Because success is about time, and God is going to do everything according to his time. The issue is when we're not in sync with him. And we go to do this, and we do that, and we do that, all that kind of stuff. And now I gotta, I'm always kind of starting over versus getting the family and saying, hey, this tough moment, this the finances we have, this a job we have. And what you're doing, you know what you're providing? You're providing leadership, which is one of the number one things that a family needs. And you're leading in a pressured moment. And as you're saying, hey, it's rough. This the money I got coming in. I don't know if it's a 401k. I don't know if it's this. You have this, and we come together and let's talk to the Lord, let's get some counsel. And I think moving forward, that's how I would proceed. It's not an emergency, but it's an emergency. So
yeah. It's a season of growth too.
Yeah.
I think, it's a season that you have to grow through.
Yeah.
And I know, as a mom and a wife, having to carry a load, how challenging that can be. You know what I'm saying? But you have to remind yourself, or listeners, you have to remind yourselves, it's a season. Like, we're not going to stay here. But we do expect, the help to come along.
Yeah.
And take the lead. We're expecting that, right?
What's that? Because you didn't grab me.
So you're listening?
What's that?
Just listening to what I'm saying. Like, we're expecting that.
Yeah.
For the brother to come in to take the lead. I think as Dana mentioned, support. I mean, that's big for women, right? So
the leadership piece is so big for men.
Yes.
And we weren't taught that. Or it was proclaimed but not explained. And I just preached that about kids. Like like Terrence, well, you did a lot of teaching to me, but not training. And our fathers or uncles, they didn't know how to train us. This is leadership. You know what I'm saying? And so, So I know that created other things. What other challenges happen, right, from
that stem,
perhaps from that situation?
I think there was I feel there was definitely a affection situation where it was like, no sir, like don't touch me, don't look at me. Why would you even think that there's any time in the day for you to be in my space?
Wow.
So I think talking to Kiana a little bit about the hormone thing too. I know I talked to Lady J too, and I was just like, I don't know if it's the hormones, if it's the birth control after Preston. I don't know if it's just him. I don't know what it is, but I was like, it could never happen again, and I will live a good life. I will be completely fine.
What you mean?
Wow.
Like, no more sexual intercourse at all, ever.
Yeah.
Really?
Ever. Hugs, kisses, it didn't matter. I was like, I'm good. Like, it was years, I feel like. It's probably some long years. If you want to talk about it a little bit.
What you mean years?
Not years.
No.
No. Just
that's
I think
she's
she's speaking
saying.
more of the desire of like
just
being
wanting.
in the bliss of all.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, this is a need, so okay, let's go ahead.
It was a chore.
It was a chore. Yeah.
Not a joy. The Bible said, bless the Lord at all times.
That's what it says.
And that's your husband. You got to bless him at all times. He said, let the praise
Yeah, that was
continually be in.
No, that's rough. That's rough. Let me tell you, sex is huge. All right, in marriage, like I have lots of conversations with married women, and just how the sex thing is just not where it need to be. It's not on point.
Yeah.
And I had one person I spoke with, a really good friend of mine, and she was like, "Girl, that ain't my issue." I'm like, "Well, girl, you like 1 of 10, well, 2 of 10 who have said that, because the majority is like almost non-existent." And I remember back in the day, I'm not gonna call names, but there was a pastor who was on staff, and I think he shared with us, or he shared with you, and you told me that he probably go like once
every quarter or something.
And we were like, what?
What's wrong with you? Because, I'm 20, I'm like every day.
Right. Killing me.
Just killing her. That's all the kids. That's all the kids every week. She was pregnant every year.
Whatever.
Say, leave her alone. Go get a TV. You didn't have Hulu or nothing like
go
that.
golf or something.
Go golf or something.
But it's so huge, and to hear Terrence and Kiana talk about that, and just how the effects of hormones. I think even for me, I didn't understand it, but I know there were seasons through the period of having kids where the drive wasn't there, or it felt, just like a chore. And so, but because it's a need for my husband.
Yeah, because you go to work when you don't want to.
Yeah.
I see where you're going.
In the rain.
I see where you're going.
I got to go to work, and you're on time, and you perform well at work, even when you don't want to. Because it ain't you ain't just there. No, I got due dates, and this is the expectation, this is the proposal. So come on.
Yeah. All of that. It's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
You go to work.
Yeah,
a lot of times you don't want to work.
It's certainly true.
And
so just because that is, just the worship for the marriage, just, the sex, and how I think we have to be more intentional about, one, meeting the need, but meeting it with joy. How do we get to the place where there's joy when it comes to meeting the
joy
need?
with your job? Like you want joy on your job. You don't even want to go to job. And I think that's what we need to talk about.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I remember you said men are microwaves and women are crock pots.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, Pastor say you're supposed to be warming us up from the morning time, and it's no warmth. It's no warmth.
Wow.
So
what you expecting?
You expecting the whole meal at the end of the day.
Yes.
I don't got nothing for you.
You gotta put that work in.
You gotta get that microwave running.
You do.
I think just though that environment is perfect for where the enemy has that set up right, because you feel that way about meeting my need. Now I feel this way about, the conversation or talking or meeting your needs. So when we're talking about, again, the warming up and all that, it was just the perfect storm of that, right? Like you feeling like she's probably not interested. So I'm not that interested in making sure that I warm up. You know what I mean? So I think, being in those spaces, I think, it just was the perfect storm of how the enemy uses that.
Yeah.
You meet my need, I meet your need. Yeah. So it's just, you just have that type of energy and resentment towards each other. So, and I think it just creates a lonely place. You know what I mean? Again, men are not normally as vocal about the challenges and things like that. So now you kind of fall into this lonely place. I got into a marriage, and now the things that I thought would happen is not happening. So it just really it can put you in a dark place.
Yeah.
And so, you start to look at maybe, I see why maybe some guys may do some other things or step out or do this type of stuff. So it just, that stuff start to kind of settle in. And again, when you kind of dealing with it on your own, it's kind of hard to kind of navigate and be, for guys that may not be in church or following, their pastor or reading their word, that's an easy exit. Easy.
Side piece, everything.
Yeah, easy way for the enemy to come in.
I think, that's so powerful. He says, leave your mother and father, and then you shall become one flesh, which is a euphemism for sex. It's just a little easy way to say have sex. But I think intimacy happens before consummation. And I think we confuse sex as consummation when it's not that. It's really the time and the meeting the needs, and it's the intimacy. It's really this, hey, how was your day? How you doing? Or how can I support? It's the intimacy, and then now let's put a bow on it, which is the consummation, which kind of takes it. And I think we think, oh no, it's sex for intimacy. No. That's the mount, that's the peak. And I think just understanding that. And so that's why the enemy, I think I talk about this in a sermon, you can't have intimacy where there is sin. So the enemy uses sin to get the intimacy. That's what he's doing. Like, we don't even know, it's the sin that's breaking the intimacy. So what I gotta do is address the sin, and then intimacy will come. And so disrespect, and like you ain't loving, and it's all of that. I'm breaking up the intimacy. You know what I'm saying? So that's why whenever there is a problem, you have to. The first thing you should do, if it's an issue, is vent vertically. And if you get with God, what he's going to do, and it may not be an audible voice, but a prompting. Well, you did this, and you did this, and you did this. So you vent vertically, and then I need to unify with my wife. Man, I'm sorry. This is what the Lord revealed to me. You with me? And what you're doing, that's intimacy. And I think you have to make sure you're doing that and just kind of see the tricks of the devil. He used sin for intimacy. And we see that with Adam and God and Eve. He used the sin of eating off the tree, did what? Broke the intimacy with God. Because when you don't have, when you're not right with God, you will not be intimate with one another. And that's why Adam and Eve was covering themselves. They didn't realize it wasn't even this. It was, we sinned against God when I disrespected my wife. I sinned against God when I didn't lead her, when I didn't support her, when I didn't say, hey, babe, this what, and vice versa. I sinned against my husband when I disrespected.
That's good. Another thing was parenting, because his job allowed him to travel a lot. So it was like my mom was not too far away, so she would come in, help with Preston. And then Preston was like 2.5, and then Jeff came and he was home with Preston. He stayed home with him for like a year. And it was kind of like, well, where you come from telling my baby what to do? I was like, this is my baby. This is how we're doing this. This is our routine. And it was like, this is our baby. So even now, Preston being 6, he has a diagnosis of being on the spectrum. Whole different situation. We had a conversation before, like, okay, are we spanking? Are we not spanking? Are we doing this? Are we doing before we got pregnant? And then we got Preston, and it's literally the thing that now is kind of like an issue for me, because some of the stuff we said we wouldn't do, I'm like, Jeff, hey, we said we weren't going to yell. Hey, Jeff, hey. So I'm constantly kind of pointing out, hey, you said, hey, you need a break. Hey,
can you articulate what's the diagnosis?
So he has Asperger's, which is more of a social kind of thing. But so when he decides he wants to just come on the stage and preach like pastor, like he's pretty impulsive. We can't really control him. We're trying to get that under control. He talks about what he wants to talk about all the time. He'll engage you a little bit. Hey, how you doing? How's this? But it's back to, we're talking about this week, what, Baby Shark and stuff like that. He focuses on what he wants to focus on. That's his thing. He doesn't understand like cues, so social cues. And if you give him like a look, like, he doesn't mean that. Like, he doesn't get that means like, go over there. Or if you're like, he doesn't get that means be quiet. And Daddy was raised where, stay out of grown folks' business. If we talking, you need to be over there. Preston, you'll be out here and he will jump all in your face in
the
middle of your conversation.
Yeah.
So just dealing with that diagnosis,
how you lead that? How you lead the family through that?
That's a challenge.
Yeah. Well, because like for me, it's, again, learning, needing the resources to continue to kind of understand it better, but it's just the consistency. So I'm like, you wait till they're finished and then you speak. So it's constantly me saying it over and over again. Just trying to be consistent, but I think some of the challenge, like she said, Dana's a little more flexible and I'm not.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, he needs to stop. So, and so that's kind of how I try to, but it's just, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. So it's trying to, even, hope for her to understand, even as a father raising a son is different from a mother raising a son. So the dynamic is different because he'll do things a little differently when he's with her than when he's with me.
Yeah.
I think, it's definitely a challenge. And now that we got a little girl, it's a whole different ballgame. So it's
The princess.
When you talk about what you expect for your wife or what you hope for your wife, when I walk in the door, that little girl screams. She comes to me. She's stopping everything. Nothing else matters.
She hear the garage go up. She takes off.
Daddy's
runs,
girl.
Daddy's girl.
I love it. But yeah, the situation with Preston is, I don't know if me asking him, hey, let me time in, like time out for you, time in for me, because I could see this as a challenge at bath time or something. I don't know if he feels I'm stepping on his toes, but it's just me thinking back, like, we said we wouldn't raise our voice, or we said we wouldn't put hands on him, or we said we wouldn't do this. And that was when we had a typical child in mind. And then we got our neurodivergent child who is not typical. So it's like, hey, go back to what we said. Like, maybe we need to go back to the drawing board. And he feels like I'm kind of like, oh, you're trying to save him, or you're trying to do this. Yeah. I've been in education for 16 years. So I'm like childhood, I know the psychology of it, all the things.
So you understand?
Navigating the Asperger's, I don't have all the answers. I do a lot of research. I do listen to a lot of people and see what they say. I have some friends.
Wow.
I've been around the kids who are autistic in school. So just kind of knowing those things, I'm like, hey, like, let me kind of like lead in this position. Like, let me show you how we do this, because for me and him, this works. Or for, a lot of stuff, my mom was like, yeah, I'll let him walk on the couch. I was like, it's just a couch. It's not expensive. Like, it's okay. But it's like growing up, no. So that's when he says I'm more flexible. I am a little bit more flexible. I'm like, he's not having a meltdown. Like, he didn't hit Journey. Like, we're good. But some stuff, he's just like, nope. No,
I think leadership, because you're the leader, right? But leadership is identifying experts to help you accomplish something. You know what I'm saying? And that's what, I think it's a bigger thing there with raising him, with the business. I think, when God named people, right? Their name was associated with their purpose. Every time that name was called, it reminded them of what they was called to do. That's why Jesus' name means saved. So when you say impress, it's a bigger thing, and especially for urban communities, because how many churches are serving those families? Like, that's God's child. You know what I'm saying? And I think y'all ought to seek the Lord on that. It's a bigger something in that, not just for our dimension, your family, but the kingdom, because often that group, that community is neglected. When, no, we want that group to be vibrant and led. And so I think the yielding to the expert just on this is the plan, which is leadership. If she's studying, if she in the space, if she did it, and having those models to help y'all to navigate that and learning that and really seeing, okay, why is this my child? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we called? What's the bigger purpose And so it'd be interesting to see what the Lord say.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, have y'all sought out family therapy? Where you have Preston and then you both in the room together, just as y'all are seeking how to best navigate through this.
We haven't.
Y'all haven't. The only reason I mention that, I think that would be great because, to his point, when you bring in the expert, now you have a mom who is in education, is learning the background, and of course, this is your baby, so you want to make certain that he's taken care of, he's treated right. And then you, being his father, raising a young black man, you want to make certain, okay, at some point, our son is going to grow up and he's going to have to be able to fend for himself and do these things. So how do we come together so that we can best raise our son so that he can have a great childhood, live in a wonderful family, and become a great adult that can navigate through life? And I think, bringing in those experts would be good, just to help y'all through that.
And you ain't do it, but you're leading it.
Mm-hmm, right.
Which is what? Your beacon skull. Your beacon skull going up because it's leadership.
Yeah.
And here go another, not the Texans thing, losing a job, but it's another thing you're navigating.
Yeah.
Which it's building your credibility. And you know what the other thing it's doing? It's helping you with consummation. It's leadership. Like my boo, you know what I'm saying? Like this is larger than the Texans.
Yeah.
This is major, you know what I'm saying? And like you said, his children, will he get married and where would he work and will he live by himself?
Right.
Like it's so much there. And think about it, I don't know if y'all, because y'all work with the kids here at the church. Have y'all ever even had that conversation in the kids' ministry? Like, who else dealing with autistic children in the church?
Yeah.
And what space do we have? And I know like a Lakewood, they have that, but it's so many people probably at home won't come to church because
of that.
Yeah.
we don't have that. But the family need
That support.
the support of a community, you know what I'm saying? And so, but I think leading through that space is a good thing.
Absolutely.
Yep.
No, this was good.
Anything else? Just what else, just moving forward as we prepare to transition out. But what else? Any other questions? Like if there's one more question. It's been good though.
I think you gave us some really good tangible things to build on.
Yeah.
I like on the bigger, one of the bigger takeaways from the first episode was that modeling.
Yeah.
Right. That was huge. I mean, the way you guys wrapped that up, it wasn't the way that we get thought.
I've never heard what we done. What we
When you talk about just the modeling and how it flows, when you talk about for the kids, in front of the kids, and how that interaction as a marriage.
If we're hugging and Preston sees, he comes and he jumps in the hug. If I kiss Jeff, Preston's like, me too. Like, don't forget. So
As you in education and you understand cascading, right?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So basically, whatever comes out of me pours down to.
Yeah. So whatever people be thinking, you can have wrong at the top and good right at the bottom. It ain't how it works. If the water cascading from top and if it's pure water at the top, it's gonna be pure. So it's a principle that whatever flows from the top to the bottom. And so it's not just what is seen, it's also what is sensed.
Yeah.
The spirit.
Yeah.
So it don't have to be, that's why it's generation curses. Well, I never seen my daddy, but that's on me. You know what I'm saying? So I think just being mindful of that, right? And we're not perfect, but if I recognize the law of the lenses, I got to do the work because that domino, it affects. So.
No, that's why this is so good and why it's so needed, when it comes to families. Because, oftentimes when we're meeting with couples, the question I ask myself is, what can we do to help? Because there's so much at stake. Like, I'm not just looking at the couple. I'm looking at the seed, the
generation.
children. I'm like, there's so much at stake. So we have to do the very best we can. Yeah. Like, we have to follow God's word, do it the way he says.
Come on.
Because when we do that,
Come on. Torsha.
that's when we get the results.
That's it.
And that's when, God is on full display in our family. So I just want to commend y'all for doing the work. I want to encourage y'all to keep doing the work because it matters.
Can I say one more?
You can.
I wanted to.
You can.
Because you was right there.
Oh, okay.
I
Just tap me.
I just wanted to.
You want to come in?
I wanted to come in
on
because we believe the more answers applied, the less problems. Mm-hmm. And if you don't get nothing else we say, you cannot be a collector of information.
Yeah.
The impact happened through application.
That's
right. And we better, what would Jesus do, Bracelet? We need another one. Do what Jesus did. Do what he did. Like, we need another bracelet because the issue is we getting all this information, all this preaching. Y'all got the playlist. This is my preacher here in Oklahoma. Do what he did. And if you do what we are advising y'all to do, you're going to see a difference. I mean, you know this. You're a teacher.
Yeah. Professional development. If we don't use it, we lose it.
Come on, I need to get into the school. I need to start teaching.
You are a teacher.
Do it. Like make sure the information, and you don't need a lot, and do it. And do the information. And over time, doing the whole series in October called the harvest mentality. Mm-hmm. And I'm really working through billionaires and people who are rich, all of them understand it is sow, it is wait, it is harvest. It is not sow and then harvest. Mm-hmm. And we want magic. We want miracles all the time, right? And if you can sow and lead her, and if you can follow him, right? And if he is not leading the way he need to lead, you are a leader. Right? And the Proverbs 31 woman, she didn't wear blue jean. She wore
linen.
She wore linen. You know why? Because priests wore linen, which meant that you got a word and you got experiences. Right? And so we need that. Mm-hmm. There's a reason God says, Adam, you need a helper. Yeah. Not somebody who cook and clean. You need that word helper. It means warrior. It means wits. It means wisdom. You need her. To come alongside you, to help you. And we got to be open to let her help. Amen. And so we believe God going to do some big, big things for y'all and through y'all in the business. What's the business again? Come on.
Impress Design and Events. But Impress Event Center is the venue.
Impress. Come on. And so pretty much everything y'all see, she's doing her thing here at the church.
Yes.
And all over
Beautiful
the country.
work.
Hey, if you need her. And now you got the event center. Look at that, man. Y'all doing your thing.
Yeah. Y'all doing it together?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
He does a lot of free labor.
Come on.
Every weekend.
Love it. I love it.
The harvest coming.
Yes, it is.
She said she going to help. Now, I don't believe in retirement, but reassignment.
Yeah.
And she going to help me get there.
Yeah.
Amen.
Reassign you. Amen.
Definitely how much y'all got.
Yes. But
Thank
man,
you.
I love y'all. I thank y'all.
We love y'all.
And y'all so faithful, so committed, part of our Connect group.
Yes.
We've been rocking and rolling for years, and we're excited about what y'all going to do in the future. So, more answers.
Apply it. Less
problem.
problems. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you.
What we got, Course?
How long was that?